What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the 904 Fishing Podcast, coming to you guys from the heart of Jacksonville, Florida. As always, my name is Alex, and I'm joined by my co-host, Nick.
Going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. How's it going this week?
Hopefully it's going well. I'm having a decent enough week. I know Nick's been having a interesting time at work, but sometimes you'll have that on these big jobs.
Yeah, that you will, but it's part of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as you guys can tell by the episode name and title, today we're going to be talking about essential gear for surf fishing and tips to make you successful when you're out there trying to, hook up into some nice fish, hook up into some reds or whiting, sharks, whatever you guys are going for. We're going to go over it all today, all the way from rigs to line to reels to rods to bait knives to bait to surf carts. We're going to go over everything. So one-stop shop for everything you guys need to get started surf fishing, or maybe you just need a little refresher and you need something to listen to while you're at work. So before we get any further into it, you guys, we're going to go over the forecast for this weekend. Hey, Nick, that's been pretty popular.
Yeah, I'd say so. What's it looking like out there, Alex?
It's not looking too bad. As you guys know, I give the forecast for Volano Beach down in St. Augustine. This is not applicable just to St. Augustine beaches, but also Jacksonville beaches and north, south. It's all pretty much relatively the same. The tides will be, pretty close within probably about an hour of each other. But this Saturday, April 27th, 2024, we're looking at a low tide at 5:43 a.m., high tide at 11:42 a.m., and then again, low tide at 5:22 p.m. and a high tide at 11:59 p.m. with a sunrise at 6:45 a.m. and a sunset at 8 p.m.
Dang, so that weather's looking pretty good for that. What's going on Saturday? A little fishing competition?
Yeah, I was about to say,
Contest?
I believe there is, in
Tourney?
fact,
Tournament?
a surf fishing tournament going on this weekend, specifically Saturday, down in St. Augustine. It's for St. Augustine, Jacksonville, and Flagler beaches, I believe. So that should be a pretty good time for it. I'm excited to see the results and see how it turns out.
What's the tournament for?
It's for whiting and pompano.
That's a fun one.
Oh yeah, well it's great for this time of year. People are catching big whitings and nice pompano, so this is the time of year for it.
If anybody needs, I don't know, try some sand fleas, see what happens.
Sand fleas, clams, magic thread to hold your bait on there. Can't go wrong with that. You really can't. You really can't. But it should be a good time. I'm curious to see what's going on with it.
The only time you'll go wrong with it is if you don't use it.
Right? Exactly. Now, I will say the waves are looking pretty high. We're looking between 3.5 and 4.5 foot waves out there for Saturday.
Bust out those 5 ounces.
Yeah, you're gonna want some nice Sputnik rigs, some nice heavy weights, because it's gonna be heavy out there. We're looking
4 to 5.
Oh yeah,
4 to 5 ounces.
4 to 5 all day long, and the wind, you're looking at 10 to 15 miles an hour coming from the southeast. So it's gonna be pretty tough
diagonal.
out there. Yeah.
I mean, think of how many people are gonna be like, "Oh, I can't fish in these conditions," and then if you stick it out and make it work, you usually reap the benefits. So.
Ooh, and it's supposed to be raining almost all day.
Oh, really?
Allegedly. I mean, we've known big weather to lie to us in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if it lied to us this time. But yeah, it's supposed to be between 70 and 75 pretty much all day, so a pretty nice day overall. But yeah, it's supposed to have between an 80 and 100% chance of rain from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Well, if they don't call it off, Alex, I think if you go out there and you just ride out the rain, if you think about it, there's less competition that I'm sure are going to be out there because some people aren't going to want to be out there in the rain.
I mean, it's got to be.
But they already brought in their spots, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is a proper tournament. You do have to buy to get in, but the prize pool is looking pretty nice, and it's called, for those of you that are interested, by the way, I realized I didn't actually say the name. It's called the 2024 Shoreline Showdown, St. Augustine, Florida. They've got one in the Panhandle as well.
Ooh, nice.
But yeah, it's
I'd like to do it, but I think I'll be out of town.
Oh, I don't even think. I believe it's being put on by Fish Bites, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you mistaken?
I might be mistaken. I think. Let's check this out here. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Yep, being put on by Fish Bites, which is pretty cool. Oh, wow. I don't think there's that many people currently in the tournament.
Alex, how many subscribers are you at now?
I'm
Did you
at
see
five.
that? Just saw that in
I
the
was
group
about to
chat.
say, yeah. I am currently at 5,000 subscribers. We've hit that mark. I want to give a huge
Look
shout
at
out
that.
to everybody for subscribing and supporting the channel throughout the years. It's pretty awesome to get to 5,000. I'm extremely excited about it. You know, what more could you ask for when you're trying to make
Another
a
5,000.
another 5,000. That's right, Nick. Click that subscribe button now. You guys get all the updates for everything fishing and camping related outdoors. Really, I want to feel like I've kind of branched out. You know, we're not doing just just fishing content anymore. Hang on, I'm trying to see.
I have an idea
Oh, what's that?
where whenever you get the funny number subscribers,
Oh yeah.
we'd have to put out a subscriber, like the subscriber count video. It'd literally just be just different clips of when we're out fishing, catching something like setting a hook, peel and drag,
Right,
get the
right.
fish in or whatever, and it's just different clips from different days, all the different times of us saying nice.
Nice. Right?
Ooh, nice, nice, nice. You know, just different ones and all that.
Absolutely. I now there's only 120 people currently registered for the St. Augustine 2024 Shoreline Showdown, which is
How
not.
many?
There's only 120.
I feel like that's a lot. That's
I
still
mean,
a
well,
good bit.
you got to think about it though, right? Like it's insane. So it's Nassau, Duval, St. John's, Flagler, and Volusia counties only.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, that makes sense with that many counties. For some reason, I was just thinking of like the A1A stretch of beach.
Right. No, it's dude, I'm telling you, it's pretty good. Um so prize structure is 15,000 in cash based on 100 anglers, which they've obviously hit. Um they're having a pompano division. Biggest aggregate weight, anglers can choose the fish they weigh. Weightmaster will not choose for you. They have pompano, 3 fish max. You can weigh less than 3 fish, and then whiting, 3 fish max, and they got a first, second, and third. And then they have a biggest fish by weight, pompano, first, second, and third.
Decent. What do the other places get?
It doesn't say. It might just be a first, second, third deal.
Just if you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last. I've heard that. Let's see. Bait, no limits. Must adhere to FWC guidelines. Minimum size, 12-inch to the nose to tail for whiting, 11-inch to the fork for pompano. No frozen or altered fish. All hardware must be removed. You know, like don't stuff your fish full of weights like that one guy up north did.
I was just about to say, don't put egg weights down in the whatever that was, striper or something.
I think it was a striper, a pike, or something like that.
What an idiot.
The weight will not be rounded to ensure there are no ties, and no commercial fishermen may enter the tournament. So this is all
Yeah, you
novice
catch enough
English.
fish.
Interesting. Honestly, I'm tempted to go. If I didn't have work, I'd be tempted to go out and do it.
Oh, I thought you were going.
I was,
thought you took off
I
for
was,
London.
I was tempted, but I don't think I want to do it all by my lonesome.
Yeah.
No, but Nick and I have been talking about doing tournaments here for a while, and I think we're gonna get more into it. Not just saltwater, but also freshwater. So keep an eye
Yeah.
out for that. You know, it'd be pretty fun.
We've strayed away from it for quite some time, but honestly, like I've never caught a big catfish or especially like it'd be nice and fun to catch a gar because I'd just bring that 8 footer and it'd be a blast.
Oh yeah,
Just got to
absolutely.
figure out the best way to do it. I mean, honestly, probably with guards, just a big chunk of bait on like a popping cork. I bet you would work. If though, that's the only problem. Then the hook and their teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
Now it's been done before, and I've landed and actually got the hook set. I think they swallowed the bait, but that's a possibility too. Or you just absolutely hook the crap out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know, but I think that'd be a fun one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, getting out there and targeting some big gar, you can't go wrong with that. But we're straying a little bit. We're gonna rein it back in here. We got
Yeah, go
sidetracked with
for
the
it.
tournaments, but we're gonna get
Lock it
back
in.
into the yeah right. We need to lock in. We're gonna get back into the surf fishing realm of things. Starting off, I mean, we'll just jump right into rigs and setups. Nick, what would you say is your favorite fishing rig? And you go ahead and tell the audience what we mean when we say fishing rig, because they might not know what that means.
So a fishing rig, you're talking about you have your either your line or your braid coming from your reel, through the eyelets down the rod. That's your main line. Um, the rigs are going to be what you're going to tie onto that. Most of them have a leader. It just depends on what kind of fishing you're doing. But fish with teeth, you're going to want a leader of some stronger and thicker mono, a heavier pound test than what your main line is going to be. So that's going to be, let's say, the standard surf fishing setup where it's the double drop rig. You're going to have your weight, probably a pyramid weight for just super simple. And then you're going to have what? What word am I looking for here, Alex?
2-aught circle hooks.
Well, yeah, you'll have 2-aught circle hooks or 1-aught. That's the hook range that you're going to want. But the two different where it comes off where the two hooks are that connect to the rig. I can't think of the word right
Like the
now.
high-low rig?
Help. Yes, like a high-low rig where you're going to have one stretch a leader for the hook, and then you're going to have a little bit longer stretch a leader for the hook. So you'll have that. You'll have the single drop rigs is what I call them. So you'll have your part of your leader of the rig where that'll connect to the weight, and then you have another one for the hook off to the side. And then that just hooks on, you just tie right onto that. You can run a little bit of a leader if you want, dealer's choice. What else? Like a popping cork. You can have your main line, you tie to a popping cork, have a little bit of a leader so it doesn't tangle as much, especially if you're running braid. Pro tip. And then you'll have your leader line from the popping cork come down about a foot, 2 feet. Just depends on what water level and depth that you're fishing. And then have the hook tied to that where you can most of the time run live bait. What else? Need I say more?
Well, I mean, going over the Sputniks and all that, I know there's different kinds of Sputniks out there that you can buy. Which ones would you prefer to use, Nick?
Definitely Sputniks for weights. Or we're talking about different types of Sputniks.
Yeah, I mean
And or
Sputniks
rigs.
because they have Sputniks that have like the beads on them, and then they have Sputniks that have like a tubing rubber piece on the um, spikes or whatever.
Legs.
Yeah, legs, I guess, whatever you want to call it. That's something personally I've used both, and I definitely recommend. I'm not endorsed. I'm not paid. I'm not nothing like that. I like the Sinker guy, Chip, the Sinker guy. He makes those Sputniks that have the little rubber piece on the legs there that hold it in a million
Oh yeah,
times
yeah.
better than those
The red
beads.
piece.
Yeah, whatever that
Red, green, blue,
little
yellow.
piece is, yeah. Whatever that is, it's gonna hold your it's gonna hold your Sputnik to the bottom way easier. And obviously, if you're using a Sputnik, you're hoping to keep it at the bottom, so that's kind of the goal there. So definitely something to think about. And don't waste your money, don't waste your time with those Sputniks that have the beads on them, because those beads will fly off your first or second cast, and then they're worthless. So it's not worth it.
Good to know. But like favorite rig for surf fishing, I'd probably say the high-low rig. You got plenty of
Yeah,
options
all
with it.
around classic rig. Can't go wrong with it.
Or even just like a high rig or just whatever if you just have the one hook on there
Yeah.
because obviously that way you can conserve bait a little bit. You can use it on 8 foot rods, even 7 foot rods with a light enough weight if it's calm enough, all the way up to your 12 foot rods, 13 foot rods. So those are nice for trying to catch pompano or any fish that you're going to throw bait on there, or if you're trying to catch a shark, you can pretty much build a rig like that to run and is usually most ideal. What would you say?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also enjoy, aside from the high-low rig, I also enjoy the fish finder rig, which is typically used to target a little larger fish. The high-low rig's typically for pompano, whiting, spots, croakers, stuff like that. But the fish finder rig is typically you've got your main line going to a swivel. And then I like to use a section, and here's why I do this. I like to use a section for the for my weight to slide on, about a foot, maybe a foot and a half, 2 feet, whatever you decide is best. Put a slider sinker, a slip sinker on that. Then I clip my sinker onto that, beads on either side so it doesn't hit your knots on either side of the swivel. And then I tie that to another swivel, and then I'll have my hook coming off of that. And the reason I do that is, one, it can control the length of the hook length. And two, if I do have a larger fish on there and it breaks my line, I typically have a lighter pound test line for my hook line as opposed to my sinker line. So that way that line will break and or snap or get bit off or, whatever before the whole rig comes off. And that's important because we like to save money here. And quite frankly, I'm not looking to lose an entire rig every time a shark bites me off or something, gets, torn or snapped or whatever. And, I don't want to replace, because some of those rigs, you include all that hardware. I mean, you could be up in $10, $15, $20 worth of stuff. And
especially if you're using like actual wire line.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's one of those, it's one of those things that you don't want to lose all that stuff. So that's why I do stuff like that. But that is one of my preferred fishing rigs when I'm going for something larger, sharks, redfish, maybe a big bluefish, something like that.
So you said you're running sinker weights on that, so it's like a big Carolina rig?
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of like a big Carolina rig, except it I don't have it where the sinker is just free sliding all over the entire length
it has
of the
a
leader.
section.
It's got a section,
through.
Right. I used to not do it that way, but I found that when I would cast, my bait would just get stuck on the hook, or it would get wrapped around the hook, or something like that would happen, and I didn't like that. So I found that other method where it was broken into sections, and that's the way I prefer to do it.
Yeah, I want to try that one out because that sounds like a pretty nice one. Considering my Carolina rigs, same like you said. Plus you'll reel in that slack, and then you might just be sitting right there on the bottom unless you have that extra little leader.
Right. Exactly.
Which I think I run something similar on my Carolina rig. It's like that.
They're all pretty similar and pretty much the same. But it's the little details that matter.
So that's a good one. I've used that for whenever I was targeting tarpon. I just didn't have the leader line strong enough.
Yep.
Which that again, 40 pound was a little bit too light. I'd say 60 to 80.
Which
just to really ensure
your average fish finder rig, if you're going for redfish, bluefish, stuff like that,
like 20 pound.
Yeah, 20 to 40 is perfectly fine. But when you start going for something a little larger, like tarpon or even shark, you definitely want some heavy duty, some nice quality, good high test.
Even like the bull reds cruising the beach, like what you've luckily been able to land.
That was luck. That was 100% luck, and I have no problem saying that.
That was fire.
That's why they call it fishing and not catching.
Yep. Yeah. I caught something else that day anyway.
You did. You
got the raffle dub.
Absolutely.
I lost my phone.
And then found it.
Yep.
But pretty straightforward overall. It, like I said, those Sputnik weights are very important when it comes to holding bottom and being able to have confidence in your rig to hold bottom. But I can't tell you how many times I've seen people go out there with improper weights, and that's really an important aspect of it. Is you got to make sure you guys have the right weights, because if you're going out there, pyramid weights in the appropriate conditions will work, but a 2-ounce pyramid weight will not hold in nearly the same conditions as a 2-ounce Sputnik will, and that's just the fact of the matter.
And also, then that also really is going to depend on what water depth you're in. Like if you
Yep.
can get past the breakers and those sandbars, you can get in a little deep trough. It'll hold a little bit better than, where the waves are right there, like maybe a foot above the sandbar. It's just too much. It's too shallow, and the turbulence in the water from the waves generated, is just going to cause the pyramid weight to move around. Same thing with the egg sinker too, and those other ones. What are the other ones that are that other shape?
You've got egg sinkers, pyramid sinkers, storm sinkers, which kind of look like pyramids, but they have like a cylinder coming off the tip of it. Um,
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of like the drop, like the teardrop
Bullet weights,
sinkers. Yeah,
because yeah, you got egg sinkers, pyramid sinkers, bank sinkers, storm sinkers, bullet sinkers. Like there's all kinds of different kinds of sinkers out there.
it's the
And
big ones for like boat fishing that just,
oh, that's just
you
a
know,
hunk of lead.
yeah, you've seen them. It's like a teardrop. It's not the bullet weights like for bass fishing if you run weedless, but anyway, they're big teardrop shape. They're usually in heavy weights, but
All kinds of
yeah,
different weights. All kinds of
yeah,
different weights.
what would you say for the minimum weight that you would recommend for surf fishing?
Just your average run of the mill day surf fishing
Hmm.
with Sputniks.
Let's just say a pyramid or egg sinker. Let's say you're
I
using like a fish finder rig or something, but in
right.
smaller form.
Personally, I would not use egg sinkers in the surf. That's just my preference. I think it's not going to hold. It's going to roll around. It has its uses. It has its applications, but there's just too much current on the beach. That egg sinker, you're not going to be able to hold as well as you want to, especially if you're planning on casting it out and leaving it and waiting for a bite. If you're casting it out and holding it and being real sensitive with it, then yeah, go for it. But yeah, if you're just casting out and holding, or setting it in a rod holder and you got a pyramid weight, I personally, with pyramid weights, I wouldn't go less than 4 ounces.
Yeah,
Which again,
that's
that's
what
the
I was thinking
advantage.
too.
That's the advantage of the Sputniks. Is with a Sputnik, a 3 ounce Sputnik is pretty good for all applications.
Yeah.
I like running 4 ounce Sputniks on all my rigs. That's a personal preference. I just like the additional weight, the additional casting distance it gives me, stuff like that. But that's 100% a personal preference. I know people that do 5 and 6 ounces. I know people that do 1 and 2 ounces. So it's just whatever you think is best. But you want to make sure, without a doubt, you are able to hold bottom. Because if you're not able to hold bottom, then your line's gonna be going all over the beach. You're not gonna be able to accurately tell if you have a bite or not. You're gonna be standing there the whole time going, "Is that a bite or is that a wave?" And
Yeah. Oh, I got slack in the line. Did
yeah,
something take it?
exactly.
Swipe at it.
And or worst case scenario, your line, like Nick and I have experienced all too many times fishing out here with these new guys that are trying out. Your line will drift down the beach and it's tangled in somebody else's line, and then you got to do the walk of shame and walk down there and apologize and all kinds of stuff. Now, luckily, we've not had to do that, but plenty of other people have tangled up in our lines because they don't have the appropriate weights.
First time, if it's really an accident, it's all right. Whatever. Lessons were learned, but it's the second time that it's okay, man.
Second, third,
Come
and
on
fourth
now.
time, I'm
Need
just
you to
gonna
lock
start.
in.
Yeah, second and third and fourth time, I'm gonna start. Once we get into that fourth and fifth time, I'm going to start cutting the line because you're clearly not learning anything.
You're just doing it on purpose at this point.
Basically, right? I mean, come on. Lock in. But
Pocket sand.
But yeah, so that's pretty good for that's pretty good for rigs and setups and whatnot. Now, Nick, I know briefly you had a surf cart.
Yeah, I did.
Kind of
Can't
go
confirm.
over. Would you now the surf cart that you had? I want to say, well, you said you got it for like $150.
Yeah, I think it was like 150.
Right. Had the big plastic tires on it.
Yeah, it was cool. So it was cool for a
Would-
little bit on the hard pack, but it's when you're on that soft sand, it just
didn't
even
hold
with
its own.
weight in there, it's either going to bury itself or then it's too light, and then you're just kind of like the wheels aren't fully turning enough.
You're just dragging it.
It's fine on the hard pack, but I mean,
So you would
yeah, if you
say
got to walk through
that's more of like
dunes,
a pier cart.
yeah.
And now let me ask you this, Nick, because we've both obviously carried our own share of tackle out on the beach when we didn't have carts. Would you say it's worth someone buying one of those carts if that's all they can afford or that's all they can get? 100, $150 for a surf cart with those big wide plastic wheels. Would you say that's worth getting, or do you think they should save up a little more and get a surf cart like the one I'm fortunate enough to have right now with the big orange balloon tires?
I'd say,
Like, do you think it'd
because
be
I
worth
mean,
it to just carry it a little longer and wait till you can get the bigger, cart with the bigger tires, the orange or gray tires, or do you think it would be worth it to kind of go up in tiers and steps?
I'm indifferent to both because going to it and then it starts working okay enough, it's like, okay, this is better than carrying everything.
Right.
But then after time, and if you were able to even check out one of those and actually roll it on the beach, be like, oh, okay. So I'd say neither nor. Just because, yeah, you could if you want to save up a little bit more, but then also, hey, maybe it's a time crunch thing, and
Right.
like maybe you got to go do a tournament, and
Right.
that's all you can get. It's better to have than nothing, just so that way it still helps. And like I said, whenever you get on that little bit more harder compact, and if you rinse it off every time and then spray the wheels with PB Blaster or WD-40, keep them oiled up a little bit to keep them from
Oiled,
rusting.
lubricated. Right. Right.
Yeah, that'll help. And honestly, I bet on yeah, you know what? Ooh, this might be a little pro tip right here. I'd like for someone to try it. So let's say you do get one of those cheaper ones with the plastic wheels, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if you took some belt tappers and you got some like mud flat material or some kind of rubber material to kind of give it a little bit more tread or groove to actually grab onto the sand when you're pulling it, so might spin a little bit easier.
Okay.
I feel like something
Okay.
could be done, or I don't know if you could even figure out a way to just fit some other wheels on there that you could go get from like Walmart or something. Maybe something that's just at least rubber to kind of give it a little bit more traction when pulling it. That could be an idea because that plastic is just that smooth plastic and just kind of just slides sometimes.
Yeah. Right. Right. I mean,
It'd
honestly,
still be harder than just the one like you have, but
I personally, having carried a bunch of gear, and I'm one of those anglers that likes to over prepare and overpack and bring way too much stuff when I'm out on the beach that I really don't need. Um, I would say having carried everything before, cooler, rod holders, rods, bait, backpack or bag or anything like that, I would say getting $100 or $150 cart is worth it if that's all you can have for the foreseeable future. Now, if the difference is, you wait a little bit, 1 or 2 weekends, if it's the difference of, I would say, about a month between getting the two carts, then yeah, just hold off, wait, get the cart with the bigger wheels, with the nicer wheels that glides over that sand a little easier. A
maybe
lot,
throw it on a credit card.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, throw it on a credit card.
Immediately pay onto your credit card like
Um,
$100.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Put it on a credit card. You know, like the one I got. The one I got was $250. So an extra, $100 depending on which cards you guys are looking at, and immediately put whatever you have on that credit card and then just pay it off, or wait and hold off for it. But I would definitely say having any cart is better than having no cart.
Yeah.
You know.
And once you've gone from, I think what happened with us too is like we were carrying a whole bunch of stuff and then get a cart, and then just from other times of just shore fishing or all the fishing combined, we're like, okay, we don't need all this stuff.
Yeah.
We're bringing too much stuff now. Obviously, if you're bringing a cooler, yeah, a cart's gonna be a lot easier unless you got somebody carrying all the fishing stuff. Somebody's got the cooler. Depends on how much of that dog you got in you, but the carts are quite nice and a nice upgrade.
Yeah.
Nice little upgrade. You can throw a flag back there tied to a fishing rod, like
100%.
a spare one, and just make it your own. Yeah, it's cool. And they got all these little. You put all these little attachments to it. I'd say it's worth it, and definitely a good idea to save up for it too, because you get what you pay for, and it'll make things a lot easier, and you'll get more life out of it too.
Yeah, 100%. You take care of your gear, it'll take care of you. Simple as that. I mean, that's true across anything, really, any kind of hobby, any stuff like that. You want to make sure you guys are rinsing your stuff down, getting the salt and the sand off it. It'll last a lot longer. Let me let me ask you, Nick. So we got the cart, we got the rigs, we went over rods and reels a little bit. Kind of getting down into the details. Would you say the nitty gritty, exactly. Would you say having a good quality bait knife or pair of pliers is essential to surf fishing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd say it's worth the money to get some aluminum, little multi-tools or aluminum pliers rather, because stainless steel or metal ones, they're hard to have them not rust because it's a little bit more upkeep just to go for oiling it every time, which you can do, that works too. But some good anodized aluminum. Here goes Alex. I'm just kidding. So not going down this tangent again here about the anodized, but those are good. Yeah, it's worth it to get a little bit better pliers, and honestly, a shark dehooker.
Yeah,
or just some long needle nose pliers too. Those are crucial for, if a fish swallowed the hook, but you can still get it out just with some longer needle nose. Yeah, those are worth it.
I'd agree. I would agree wholeheartedly. And good set of pliers and a good knife, a good bake knife, something like that is really, really important in my opinion to have, especially the pliers. If you're only going to get the one, get the pliers. It's going to be 10 times better when you have something for, something with teeth, or you have a fish that kind of maybe swallowed a hook a little too much. You don't want to stick your fingers in its mouth. You can't stick your fingers in its mouth, something like that.
Stingray,
exactly. Can't relate, just cut the line, give it the whole thing. But no, it's one of those things that you want to make sure you try to give yourself all the building blocks and all the tools that you need in the early stages to really, really give yourself a successful trip. And bait, Nick, let's go over bait. What kind of baits would you prefer? Let's go. We'll do artificial, fresh dead, like frozen, fresh dead, or no, we'll do artificial, dead bait, and live bait. What would you say is your favorite artificial bait?
Favorite artificial bait for surf fishing or in general?
Throwing out on the surf rig, high-low rig.
Oh, well, fish bites, of course.
Naturally.
Those are nice to have because it's bait without having bait. It's going to get that scent out there, that flavor. Flavor Town. Bring the fish to it.
Yeah, you might catch Guy Fieri.
Hey, I don't even know what he says to impersonate him. I don't have that off the top of my head. But
welcome to Flavor Town.
Yeah, there it is. But
population, fish. Sorry.
Whoa. It's okay. Needed that. But yeah, so fish bites are good, and they got all these different assortments of flavors or scents. I'm going to say flavors for the fish. You can try, but it's up to you. It's your prerogative.
I wouldn't. It's just
I'll judge.
I wouldn't. We're going to stare.
So
we're going to stare, but you can.
I'm going to question a few things, and then I'll go about my day because it's not me, but that's fine. So yeah, those are great. Those are great on the surf. For fresh dead bait, I really like fresh dead shrimp, but also frozen shrimp has been proven to work too, as long as it's not nasty looking and
right.
That way they get like dark whenever they're old. So
I was about to say they turn like black kind of.
Yeah, and the tail area.
They get kind of rotten. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You're pretty gross. Yeah, so and that's just nasty on your hands anyway. But yeah, that's a good one. And then for live bait on the surf, I would say finger mullet, or if you could net some good sized mullet, that just depends on what you're going for. But finger mullet work really well. Fiddlers, I'm sure, could probably work, but definitely the sand fleas. Sand fleas are great live bait, and everything eats them, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sand fleas can't go. That's what I was gonna say actually with sand fleas for my live
Hmm.
bait.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, those are good ones for sure. And especially out there on the surf, I mean, top two would be sand fleas and mullet, whether they're big mullet or finger mullet.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. And the other thing that is good for artificial bait that I once upon a time made a video on and it was lost, unfortunately. That footage is gone, so we're gonna have to make it again. But is
Rip.
fish gum. I've heard pretty good things about fish gum. I was doing a comparison video back in the day, but again that footage was lost, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to remake that. But
Yeah,
fish,
that's kind
I've
of a hard
heard.
comparison to do out there, you know?
Yeah, well, I've heard decent things about fish gum, just as I've heard good things about fish bites. And when I was out there, actually, I had better luck on the fish gum than I did the fish bites.
Interesting.
Which again, that was just that one time. I wanted to make a video kind of over the course of a couple different fishing trips, see which one worked better. But we're gonna replicate that. We're gonna go out there and try that again. See what we can't whip up. But yeah, I would agree with Nick. Fish bites, fish gum for artificial baits, and fresh dead bait or dead bait, cut mullet, cut bait fish in general. Shrimp, can't go wrong with shrimp, oysters, clams, that kind of stuff. And then for live bait, yeah, I'm gonna go with typically small finger mullet in the 4 to 5 inch range. Those are great for small sharks, tarpon, redfish, bluefish, stuff like that.
About your average size in the winter,
Yeah,
around the
yeah,
colder months.
yeah, exactly. And then
Awesome.
like you said, sand fleas, can't go wrong with sand fleas. Sand flea. If I had a choice of fresh bait, fresh live bait on the beach, I'm gonna go with finger mullet and sand fleas.
Yeah, because they're right there. If they're running, you got a cast net, you can get them.
Yep,
And then if you don't have a cast net, you can just dig in the sand and get some sand fleas.
100%. Like you guys saw, we did that last time, or Nick did that last time, and had some pretty good, pretty good results with it. One bait I didn't actually, I just thought about for the dead bait is, or I guess technically it would be live until you cut them. Blue crab. Blue crab is an excellent bait. Blue crab knuckles, stuff like that. Excellent bait for redfish, bonnet heads, pompanos, stuff like that. Which, Nick, I don't think we've actually used blue crabs.
I haven't
up
tried
there.
it from the surf.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get out there and use it. Blue crab. The best use for blue crab is bait. You cut it up, you get some nice, good quality fish out of it. Have yourself some fish for dinner. Because no one wants to eat the bait crabs for dinner. Simple as that.
Except Brad, right?
Something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had them, but I'm sure it'd be pretty good. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know.
Maybe, we'll do a comparison when we go out there one time. Baits we've not tried before.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty good.
Hold on here. Hot take, because you said don't eat the bait crab, right?
Right.
But then what about the bait shrimp? Well, obviously don't eat the bait, but you wouldn't eat fresh blue crab, but you would eat fresh shrimp.
Well, hang on now. Hang on.
Is this apples to oranges here?
Hear me out. Would you rather have some nice, delicious, delectable shrimp bowl or blue crab?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be the shrimp boil.
It's going to be the shrimp boil all day, 7 ways to Sunday, baby. You can take that to the bank and cash it. I don't make the rules. I just abide by it.
Oh, I make them, and it's shrimp low country boil with the shrimp.
100%.
Yes, sir. Guess what? They're easier to eat. They're easier to eat.
They're easy to eat. There's more of them. They're better tasting.
Yeah. That's right. Was there ever a doubt? No.
You don't have to spend 25 minutes trying to get a single morsel of meat out of the crab. It's just not worth it. Also, here's another hot take. While we're on the subject of hot takes, I don't think Old Bay belongs on seafood.
No, I think you lost everybody there.
No, I said it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to explain it. Old Bay is too salty for seafood. Seafood in of itself is already salty because it comes from the saltwater. So when you put Old Bay,
That's a good point.
when you put salty seasoning on a salty fish, you're just gonna get overly salted food, and it's not good. Now,
important.
when I tell you, you look at anybody that is doing a good quality shrimp boil or crab boil or anything like that, they're not using Old Bay. They're using Slap Your Mama. They're using the Florida Everglades seasoning. They're using, the Zatarain's low boil mix, stuff like that. But in my opinion, I think the best mix you can throw into a low country bowl is Slap Your Mama's. Can't go wrong with Slap Your Mama's.
I love that. I got the hot and the normal one.
Yep,
in
same
the cabinet.
I got it right now, ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because you don't want to add too much like sodium and salt to your already salty seafood. So, I mean, because that's the thing about maybe like a little bit to something is fine, but for the amount of seasoning that you're getting within the salt, it's
not worth it.
You need less. You need to ratio that.
Old Bay seasoning is to make things taste like seafood that aren't seafood.
Hmm.
I don't.
It's like you don't like super salty fried chicken. So
exactly.
I like a little bit more pepper in it. In the batter.
100%. Give me pepper all day long. 6 ways to Sunday. And twice on Mondays.
We need to do a low country boil.
We do. Now we're thinking about it. And honestly, that'd be really good to do out on the beach. We don't have to do a big one. I've got a burner. I've got a pot. Throw a couple pounds of shrimp in there, potatoes, corn.
Sausage,
kielbasa,
Man, ooh, yeah.
I'm getting hungry now. I haven't had dinner yet. But
I'm starving.
One of these episodes. Oh, Nick. Hold on,
Alex.
I got it. We can do that episode we were thinking about doing. Like out on the beach, doing it live, the podcast episode out on the beach.
Right.
And we could do the boil out there.
That would be very nice.
That'd be saucy.
Or even just cooking something out there.
Exactly. Little cooking podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking up bangers, you guys, nonstop, all the time. But I reckon, we're about to wrap it up. We've gone over pretty much everything: bait, gear, knives, tools, carts, rigs, rods, reels, all that kind of stuff. If you guys have any...
beats Battlestar Galactica.
Right, exactly. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know down in the comments below. I respond to every single comment on every video, all over the place. If you don't want to ask it in public because you're embarrassed, or you just, want to be a little more private with the information I'm giving you, because I don't hide spots, I don't hide gear, I don't hide tips, I don't hide tricks. You can email me at 904fishingflorida@gmail.com, and I'll respond to you as quick as I can, and try to get you some good info. But
absolutely, from the both of us too.
Absolutely, yeah. I always, every time somebody asks me something, I always talk to Nick. So you're getting the best of both worlds, really. You're getting the Hannah and the Montana.
Wow, the best. Oh no, it's stuck in my head. No.
Outstanding. And while we're just ruining things for people, I suppose you guys, for everyone listening, you just lost the game. But Nick, did you have anything? Did you have anything?
Katie got me with it last night. She's like, "Did you hear what you said?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You said you lost," and I was like, "I lost." And she said, "Yeah, you said I lost the game." I was like, "No."
No. What's up, Sydney? Thanks for tuning in, man. We're just about to wrap it up here. Hope everything's going good over there, man. Hope you've been catching some nice bluefish or just fish in general, really. But we're gonna wrap it up, you guys. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Appreciate everyone for helping me get to that 5,000 subscriber mark. And hopefully we'll get another 5,000 here shortly.
I mean, shoot, with what we got planned and with summer coming up, I don't see how we wouldn't.
Exactly. Things are in the works. Gears are moving. Rods are spinning. Nope. Reels are spinning. Rods are bending. There we go. But Nick, you got
Cameras are
anything?
capturing.
Cameras are capturing, overheating more often than not, but we're working.
Tripods are standing.
Yeah, right.
I meant to say tripods.
That's what I thought you said.
Maybe the bipods too. You don't know. Cool.
Yeah, technically we're the bipods.
Damn, yeah.
Just to learn. Yeah, I've heard that actually. Sydney, if you're fishing the St. Augustine tournament that's coming up this weekend, definitely let me know how you do. This Saturday I'm gonna put a link in the chat and also the description and also the comments down below for those of you that are interested in looking at the tournament that's coming up this Saturday, April 27th. Let me know how it goes out for you. But
or you too can leave a comment.
Absolutely.
Maybe a like, maybe a share. Definitely a subscribe.
Definitely
be a lot cooler if you did.
That should just be a no-brainer. You should definitely subscribe.
If you don't, then you will be forever cursed with people fishing with some very small pyramid rigs,
1 ounce pyramid
drifting
weights
over your line, getting tangled up every time. It's going to be a tourist with a 7-foot rod.
100%.
But that's only if you don't subscribe. So, it's up to you.
We don't make the rules. We just abide by them. Nick, you got anything else to add, man?
I don't know. I think that's it on my end. Is there any questions, or I don't know. Do you have any random the 2 questions at the end?
I mean, I could definitely pull up my list here and see what we got.
Well, let's do that. Let's give the people what they want, maybe.
Absolutely. Nick, honestly, I'm coming up with all these questions. Next time, you're gonna have to come up with some questions.
That's fair.
What? Let me ask you this, Nick. What is your first memorable catch off of the beach? The first one that really just is burned into your mind. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I caught this off the beach.
Ooh, man.
Like from when you were a kid.
Oh, from when I was a kid.
Yeah, like the first one. Like when you were out there, you're fishing as a kid, stuff like that.
It was probably a whiting.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, probably a whiting, because I didn't really fish the beach a whole lot, and if I did, it was just with my little bass rod. So didn't really know what I was doing, but I've caught whiting out there doing that. I know one that would really stand out from whenever we were really getting into fishing and
Yeah, that's what I'm asking is which one stands out in your mind? Like which one can you remember the best? You remember what you caught it on, where you caught it, who you were with, stuff like that.
That big pompano out there.
Oh yeah?
Was it Amelia Island? Yeah.
Yeah, Amelia Island, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, because I remember just the sheer panic, and I think it was tipping my rod holder over too. Didn't I grab it last second or something?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you had a full out sprint, barely grabbed the rod from the rod holder. The rod holder, as you were fighting it, tipped over finally.
Yeah, I'd say that one just because there was so much going on that day that led up to that moment. I mean, people getting stuck, like we talked about last time. People getting stuck, pulling them out, trying to get over there. Someone else is stuck, and then actually getting out there because it was me, you, and PJ.
Yep.
And then because then PJ, he sat on the styrofoam cooler thinking it would hold him, and of course it didn't.
It
so
did
then
not,
he sat on the pompano, and I think you had a big jack in there too, or maybe you had another keeper pompano or something.
It was a jack. Yep.
Yeah, so there was just a lot of craziness that went along with it, and that sprint too. I mean, that was one of my peak sprinting speeds of my life.
Yeah, you
what about
got
you?
Up there really quick. Mine's pretty easy. I remember mine. I was 14 years old. I was down fishing Volano. We were staying at my buddy Bailey's grandma's house. She lives down there in Volano near Porpoise Point. And we walked down to the rocks there at Volano, and we just had his grandpa's old, fishing gear. We were throwing it out there. And we kept getting bites here and there, nothing crazy. And then the first big fish we caught was actually a northern pufferfish. And
nice.
It scared us because, we were like, oh my gosh, pufferfish. Don't touch them. They're poisonous. This, that, and the other, which, it was a northern pufferfish, so it didn't have anything like that. But it was,
and if it did, it'd be venomous.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be venomous. And I remember seeing the beak, their teeth. It forms basically like a beak, like a parrot beak. I thought that was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It inflated, as we were trying to get the hook out and whatnot. It was just one of the first things I was like, that's insane. Like, I've never seen something like that. I never thought I would catch something like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, and didn't really know that we had them here either.
Right. It's one of those things. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is an entirely new and unique experience for me. So I was pretty excited about it. And yeah, that's one of the first couple ones I was like, okay, this is for me. This is something I want to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, pufferfish, man.
What let me ask you this, Nick, that for our final question, which I feel like, kind of ties into all of our for today's episode, what kind of safety gear do you bring with you when you go surf fishing?
Well, a little first aid kit's pretty nice to have. I would say sun safety, probably one of the more important ones. But if you're talking about health safety, plenty of water.
Yeah.
Make sure you got enough water for the time being out there, especially with it getting hot.
Oh yeah.
Because you'll be on the beach in the breeze, but you'll still get cooked on that beach.
100%.
So, I'd say first aid kit, water, sunscreen, sun protection, buffs, a good hat.
Good, nice wide brim hat.
Yeah, just
like a straw hat.
That'll help your that'll just help your experience a lot better, and you won't be absolutely fried whenever you get home. So
100%.
that won't affect you then throughout the week.
100%. Yeah, because you're gonna be feeling it. Mine is a good quality first aid kit, and I always make sure I have antibiotic, ointment, antiseptic wipes, Band-Aids, gauze, tweezers. You never know when you have to get a splinter out or a spine or a barb or something like that, so that's good to have as well. And a heat pack.
Yep.
An instant heat pack, one of the ones where you crush the inside and activates and it gets real hot. Those are crucial for stingray stings.
Interesting.
Yep.
I wonder how you knew that information.
It's kind of burned into my memory. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, stingray stings, the faster you can get a heat source on the sting area, the less it will hurt. So you're not in agony for 10 hours straight. But
all good info there.
Yeah, 100%. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I know Nick does as well. And make sure you guys tune in next Tuesday as well. We're gonna be doing same bat time, same bat channel, Tuesday 7 p.m. And I upload a video every Thursday at 7 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. This week's video is gonna be a mechanic video. Actually, it's gonna be on my Honda Element because I wasn't able to go fishing because I had to do some work on the car. So it's gonna be about the car. So keep an eye out for that. Like nice. I said, we're kind of expanding everything and going over different things, different content, different ideas, different practices, and ways you can get out and work with your hands, not just fishing. But you got anything else to add, Nick?
I was going to say, along with that, I'm going to be doing the same thing just on my channel. I don't know if you can tag me on these videos with my other channel, but I found a steel for a tripod that's missing one piece. That's not even that crucial.
Very nice.
I got it for $2, and it's a very nice tripod.
Gotta love it.
I don't know what the quality is, but it feels good enough for what I need it for.
It's not just good, dang it.
So
it's good enough.
Yeah. So that way I just got the rest of my camera stuff together. I have it's like a knockoff GoPro. Video quality probably won't be crazy, but I'll save up so I can get a GoPro.
Everyone's got to start somewhere,
I have like a Hero 4, but you can't. It's one of those that you record, then you can only view then what's stored on the SD card.
Right.
From a laptop or something. So probably won't use that.
Well,
might see if I could sell it honestly, because it's not gonna have any use for me. I don't know if anybody's really gonna want it, but
I'm sure we can figure something out.
Yeah,
we'll get you.
But yeah,
really. Yeah, we'll get you sorted, and yeah, I'll definitely start tagging your channel and whatnot. But appreciate everybody tuning in. And until next time, you guys, keep your lines tight, your cast long, and your stories true. We'll see you next time.
Everybody have a good week. Let's get to the week.